Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Baldur's Gate 3. As today, we move beyond the Blighted Village, namely into the southern swamps, where we're setting our sights on the evidence we need to expose Kaga. As you can see, I've already taken care of the prep work off screen. We have a modest assortment of buffs, many of them courtesy of our new transmutationist trainee. And I also popped our first elixir, an elixir of arcane cultivation, which I will say did not work out quite the way I was expecting it to. I was really kind of hoping that would be an extra warlock slot, but I guess it makes sense. It would just be a normal once per day slot. Still useful, just, a slight letdown based on expectations. And then, aside from that...
Wits and blades, always sharp. Got to keep moving.
It turns out there is a cure for our anemia. And just like that, we are once again a full-blooded Dragonborn. Fantastic. I'm sure you've also noticed that Shadowheart seems to have something to say about all this. So, let's see what's on her mind.
There's something I want to talk to you about. Something important.
Well, color me intrigued. Please, continue.
I could have died in that pod, back on the Nautiloid. You could have died, spending precious moments trying to free me, but you did it anyway. I owe you my life. I'm trying to say that you've earned my trust in a way very few ever have. I want that to mean something. I want you to know more about me, at least from what I can remember. As long as I've prayed to Lady Shah, I've wished to serve her as a dark justiciar. There is scarcely a greater way to fully dedicate yourself to Lady Shah, save perhaps if you become the head of her church. To become a Dark Justiciar is to become the Night Singer's sword arm, her implement with which she will cast down the unbelievers and win the final battle to restore her perfect, endless darkness. It's all I ever wanted. I prayed it was my calling. But Mother forbid me from seeking to prove myself worthy of the rank. She said I was not ready. Not my mother, I should add. The Mother Superior, head of Lady Shah's enclave in Baldur's Gate. Sometimes I wonder if she would ever deem me ready. I owe her everything, and I only wish to serve, yet she can prove inscrutable.
Yeah, like she's constantly testing you. And I guess we now know who's waiting for her back in Baldur's Gate. So that's another question answered. Wouldn't most followers of Shar wish to advance their station?
Dark Justiciars are hated by many, judged to be ruthless fanatics. Even the few who would accept a follower of Lady Shah would likely balk at a Justiciar in their midst. But there's a simpler answer to your question. I simply forgot about the desire I had until I saw some things that reminded me. Now, I can't get it out of my mind.
Okay, now, hold on. Are you sure you remembered that? Versus something, say a magical brand, perhaps? Simply injecting it into your memory to guide your rebellious thoughts? Man, I really hope I'm at least remotely accurate with this, because it really does feel like it all fits. Sorry, so this Mother Superior of yours, do you think she'll ever relent?
I don't know. Perhaps if I succeed in my mission and reach Baldur's Gate. Hope has little place amongst Lady Shah's children. It's an illusion, a distraction. for this. I hope my time will yet come.
Well, this has been interesting, Shadowheart. Thank you. Yeah, I guess that's it for now. Interesting, though. Alright, so as aforementioned, today we are turning our attention south, towards the swamp. So our game plan's pretty straightforward. We're just going to go back to the river and then follow the coastline south, which, based on our map, should lead us straight to our next plot device.
Time to press ahead.
Though, before we leave the blighted village in our taillights, we do have one more thing to grab real quick. One of the viewers was kind enough to point out a cache that I glossed over during the final leg of our exploration last time around. This right here, a mysterious hole. You know, just across from the rock hard meat and the barn. I'm sure there's no correlation. So, let's see what we've got. A curious book. A conventional scimitar. And an oil lamp. The sides of this brass lamp are shinier than the rest, as if they've been repeatedly rubbed. Is that so? This book feels light in your hands, and strangely hollow. Not sure why Auric just exploded, but I'm sure that's fine.
A scholar after my own heart.
Ah, I see. Yeah, that's a classic.
Or maybe a bit of a drinking problem.
And then, can we rub this? We can. Ah, fair, yeah. A bit early in the game to give us a wishing lamp, I think. Though it did net us a very peculiar container, which I think we will make immediate use of. Lovely. Not sure about the oil lamp, but I guess we'll hold on to that for now. And with that, I think our time here is done. I'm sure there's still one or two baubles or gewgaws I may have overlooked, but, you know, maybe I'll canvass the place again off screen. But for now, I am eager to coast towards something new. To bank some new experiences. Eyes open, people. Larian loves to hide stuff everywhere.
No traps, please.
Crafting ingredients, we'll take those. I also see an open hole there and honeycomb. We'll stick to the river for now. We have a specific goal in mind today, so we'll try to stay on course. Oh. Guys, you want to help me out here? I really wish they hadn't cut the observant feat.
What's that?
Hey, there we go. That was a close one. They almost had us stumped. Let's see what we've got. Dark stain, yada yada. Oh, okay. Elixir of heroism. Plus elixir of poison resistance. Elixir of Heroism might actually be decent if it lasts until your next long rest. I'll have to look into that. Oh.
That's curious.
Oh my goodness. I told you, there's stuff hidden everywhere. This is absolutely going to drive me insane. What do we got? Holy crap. My goodness. Okay, we've got assorted wines. We'll take them. We have assorted arrows. Those go to Shadow. We have assorted potions. Potions and lotions galore. Plus throwables. Potions go into the potion pack. Thrown objects go to Karlach. I should really give her some sort of rucksack for all this stuff. Fleet Fingers. Running jump. Once per turn, after the wearer dashes or takes a similar action, they can jump without using a bonus action. Plain leather with a faint but unmistakable buzz, as if eager to put idle hands to work. Interesting. I mean, obviously that would work best with a character who can dash as a bonus action. But still potentially useful? Just hard to say if it's as useful as occasionally baning a target. Not that we've really seen that bane effect trigger all that often. Plus combining Fleet Fingers with the Lightfoot boots would create some potentially interesting synergy. I'll have to think on that. But yeah, like I was saying, Larian, like they just so intensely, densely packed these handcrafted environments. It just, I love it, but at the same time it kind of drives me bonkers because, you know, I try to rush myself along when I'm recording these episodes so that we can actually get places and do things in a semi-timely fashion. But there's just so much to look at, and every time I go through somewhere, I think I've missed something. And, you know, half the time I have, because, again, there's just stuff everywhere. So I feel compelled to stop and look at everything. Especially when there's surfaces like this that look like they might be traversable, but which actually aren't.
See? Tell you truth, Beefy! Trust me. Always. Always!
Sorry, Shovel. Didn't actually need to talk to you, but good to know. Thank you. It's overwhelming for someone like me who wants to be thorough, but my goodness. Just look at this. Especially without a properly functional highlight button. You know, highlight catches like a quarter of the objects that you can actually interact with. And I get it to a certain extent. You know, you don't want things to be super obvious. You don't want players to just spot all the hidden secrets by holding down a single button. Ooh, hello there. But, you know, that's what passive perception checks or investigate checks or other such skill checks should be for. And they are sometimes in this game, but not always. And that lack of consistency...
Hey! Something bit me!
Just an insect. I'm sure you'll survive.
Do you harass
Besides,
every old woman
it
you
probably
meet?
figured you for a tasty treat.
Just tell
Give
us
me
where
an
she is.
aboleth over a
We don't want any
midge
trouble.
any day.
But you're bloody getting some if you don't fess up.
Okay, we should probably intervene.
Lads, for the love of all that is holy, I've never clapped eyes on your poor sister.
Drop the act, hag. You was the last to see me, Rena.
Just let her go. Please.
Thank goodness you're here, sweetie. I don't know what's come over these boys.
Stop this! We won't ask again!
Really wish we'd made that insight check. Sorry, I just got here. What's going on?
Careful! Don't trust a word out of her mouth. Our sister went to the hag, and we ain't seen her since.
Hand over heart, I don't know their sister. I will gladly help you all look for her, though.
Enough! Where is she?
Alright, I mean, we were already suspicious of her back in the Grove, and now she's suddenly out here in a position of peril. Seems dubious at best, especially since we know, as an alchemist, she has to be a caster of some sort. Yeah, this doesn't add up. Auntie Ethel, did you do something to their sister?
Bollocks! You were supposed to rush to my defense, love. Fat lot of good you are. Some advice? You ever darken my door, you'd best have that head bowed and an apology at the ready. Bye-bye now.
Bloody hells! She just disappeared. Ain't seen nothing like that before.
She could shoot fireworks out of her backside for all I care. The hag has Rina!
I am also still here. Would someone like to explain what's happening now?
It's our sister, Mayrina. She's... well... she was in a bad way after her husband died.
Started saying weird things, like how she was gonna bring him back.
Next thing, she's gone looking for the hag. Of all the stupid things to do. And we haven't seen her since. And no good ever came from dealing with a hag.
None of this matters, all right? We need to get her back, and fast!
I see. Gentlemen, I understand your concerns, but I feel like this issue may be beyond you. I'm already headed this way. Why don't you let me take care of it?
Are you joking? I ain't got a clue who you are. No way I'm leaving Rina to you.
But, Joel...
Not a chance. We're getting her back on our own. Now, come on.
Yeah, that's probably not going to end well. Man, why would they not even... See, that's the kind of inconsistency that does drive me crazy. That really feels like a situation where we should have been able to make a social skill check. But fine. We'll just see how things turn out, I suppose. Oh. I don't want to stray too far, but that looks very conspicuous. Looks like a lair or a cairn.
That's
okay.
curious.
I would have actually expected to find something inside of it, not in front of it, but fair enough. Huh. You know, I'm honestly not sure if this is supposed to be vaguely ominous or just someone trying to dry age pork. Or possibly the goblins from the village trying to stash the premium foodstuffs so they don't have to share. No way of knowing, I suppose, without further context. And obviously fairly trivial in the grand scheme of things. Let's move on. I suppose in addition to our evidence, we'll also have to keep an eye out for any signs of Auntie Ethel or those unfortunate brothers. Huh. Is that just like a plate full of food? Weird. Barbed bulrush. Oh, autosave.
Chill runs up your spine. You feel like you're being watched.
Sword of Omens, give me sight beyond sight. With intelligence for some reason instead of my actual caster attribute. Hey, still made it.
You blink and the wilderness changes. A swamp, stinking and insidious, assaults your senses.
Well, I hate this. I'm glad Karlach is happy, though. Yikes. Still have our barbed bull rush, though. Let's investigate that. XP pop. Sleight of hand check. And poisoned apples, with the forest's illusion dispelled. This apple's lethal nature has become readily apparent. Okay, so yes, Auntie Ethel is either a witch or a hag. Poisoned apples are very on brand. Wow, okay, so the oppressive darkness stops like 20 feet that way. So this is definitely something unnatural. Ooh, that looks traversable. But we should probably avoid sitting water. Stick to the paths. Not that it helped this guy. Loving note. Let me guess, inviting us. Oh, God.
Trap. Time to dance.
Alright, okay. There are indeed traps in the sitting water.
We're a long way from water deep. No time to rest.
Let's have a look at that note. Loving note. This note is written in a cheerful scrawl, complete with love hearts. Take a breather, lovelies, and have a bite to eat on me. Auntie E. Yeah, that tracks. So now that we know these things are dangerous, can we actually do something with them? Can we throw them at people? I mean, I imagine they're not covered in contact poison, but this game does allow for some pretty silly things. Not exactly my core concern, though. Is that thing still there, or was that a one-time deal? Nope, there it is. You know what? Maybe we'll just avoid the clearly marked paths. That does seem like the most obvious place to place traps in retrospect, given the duplicitous nature of this place. Let's check that, like, half-submerged path we passed. Oh, for goodness sake. Okay, one moment.
A trap. Time to dance.
What's next?
Exploring this place is going to be a nightmare. See, this is where I feel Larian is at their weakest. When they set up these truly obnoxious, trapped environments. I mean, I don't want to be overly harsh. I love the exploration, I love the atmosphere. But the traps like these, the hazards, are often excessively punishing, which really ends up making you feel like you need to go out of your way to scout for them. Which in turn slows everything to a crawl. You have to bring a single character up, and when they inevitably fail one of their perception checks, you have to bring another character up and cycle through your party. And at the same time, you have to worry about triggering event flags or cutscenes or other such events. And, you know, it wouldn't rankle me as much, I think, if they would let you scout ahead with flying familiars and the like. You know, one of the primary functions of a flying familiar.
Looks like a trap there.
But for whatever reason, they don't allow for that.
My faith will guide me.
So instead, we have to kind of slog our way through environments like this one. Because setting off a single hazard cripples the entire party.
No one back home will ever believe this. One day I'll catch a break. Ah! My finger!
Yeah, I should really stop touching those. Just to clarify, I'm not saying there shouldn't be traps. I'm just saying they should be more proportionate to our perceived level curve and to the desired pacing for the game. The concealed swamp shrapnel mines are over the top. Those should be like a single target punji trap that punctures a character's foot, possibly slowing them down, and introducing
Someone had a
contaminated
party
swamp
here.
water
Or something.
into the open wound.
No ordinary creature did this. Redcaps ripped the place to pieces.
Redcaps. So evil fae, that does match the assumption we're up against a hag. Might be a bit beyond our level. I mean, technically, a hag would be beyond our level. Well, maybe. I mean, I'm thinking in terms of 3rd edition and Pathfinder. I don't know how they've rebalanced them for 5th edition. Like in Pathfinder, they're mid-range foes. They're level 6 to 8 or so. Then again, Baldur's Gate 3 really just kind of uses challenge ratings as a suggestion. They were throwing demons and mind flayers at us right out the starting gate. And to be fair, I suppose given some of their wackier house rules, we are a mite bit more powerful than your average 4th level party would be. I don't know, difficulty curves are weird, I suppose. Even back in the days of 3rd edition and Pathfinder, it could get pretty wonky pretty quick. I mean, just look at Owlcat and how infamous they are for over-tuning some low-level encounters. The Cave of Spider Swarms. The Were-Rat Alchemists. The Invisible Death Ponies. Oric, would you stop exploding? That is getting mildly distracting. Anyway, sorry, just rambling. Thinking about dungeon design. Sent me off on a couple of tangents there. The short of it, Baldur's Gate 3 has a problem with over-tuning traps. It's just funny, you know, because, like, I had a reputation for being a killer dungeon master, but I would never use, like, half the traps we've seen in this game. Every different dungeon master has their own style. Obviously, Larian, for whatever reason, decided they wanted all of their traps to be spectacular and lethal. I just kind of roll my eyes every time we walk into a room and spot, like, 6 poison gas traps and 7 dart launchers and open flame sources to blow the entire thing up, when clearly the trap is set up in a way that would annihilate whatever it's supposed to be protecting. Like the toll booth. I mean, I understand trapping a vault so that people don't just go in and steal all the gold, but it just, like, logistically and immersively makes no sense. Because not only would it destroy the toll booth and kill everyone inside, but it would also destroy all of the money and valuables you're trying to protect as well. And seriously, if you could afford to set up an elaborate trap like that, why not just shell out for a trap that, like, teleports all the treasure somewhere else?
At the ready.
Sorry, just rambling again.
Right away.
Just trying to keep my brain occupied whilst I meticulously explore this place 5 square feet at a time.
Still breathing, despite everything. Swift as my feet can carry me.
I am glad we seem to have pushed past the trapped area. Though I suspect we've still got at least a few hidden in the shallows we passed. I'll probably go back and sweep those off screen. Also, I'm fairly certain I know what we're coming up on here. I do vaguely recall this specific part from early access. In part because of how frustrating it was, but let's see how it's balanced out since then. Oh yeah, there they are. Oh. Right. Didn't jam on that crouch button quite fast enough. Fair enough. Into the fray. Looks like 4 mephits and 2 woads. I would say it's manageable, but these guys haven't started conjuring up reinforcements just yet.
What fools these mortals be.
We seem to have lost our shovel. Oh, snap. Stepping in the water actually disrupted our invisibility. That's... Huh. I mean, logically, I suppose it would reveal an invisible creature's location. I don't know if it would actually disrupt the entire spell, but it's fine. I'll give him that one. I feel like I've already done enough grousing for one episode.
Allow me to demonstrate. Knight to King 5.
You know, one thing we haven't actually seen much of in this game, which is weird because it's actually pretty well set up for it, is pit traps. You know, just floors that open up and drop you into 10-foot pits that you can then either explore and find things in or climb back out of. I know it's not as exciting as exploding rooms full of dart traps or whatever, but you know, Celeste used traps like that to pretty good effect. I really need to get back to Palace of Ice at some point. Too many games, not enough time. here they come. So is it just one each now? Did they fix that? Because I very distinctly remember these things getting unlimited summons back in EA. Of course, then again, we didn't have a Karlach back then. And she is pretty much built for this kind of mudslinging.
All right, Karlach. It's go time. Aye, aye.
Ooh. Didn't realize they could summon at that kind of range. That's problematic. Wow, yeah, that's like a full screen away. All right. Yes, yes. Thank you, Shovel. All right, so summons to slow them down on the left. Party focus on the right.
Creator, destroyer.
So if these things are from the demi-plane of mud, they would be vulnerable to ice, electricity. Well, woads are definitely fire, but we should really focus down the mephits first. Well, when in doubt, go loud. Ah, I was really hoping that would get both of them.
Nothing will stand in my way.
Finish off this guy.
Cutting to the chase.
Nice. Ooh. Okay, so when we take out an ancient mephit, its summon not only desummons, but also explodes. That is important to make note of. Especially since it was indiscriminate. We could potentially use that to our advantage. Though it does also leave muddy terrain, so we have to remember that. Woads regenerate. Minor ding on Karlach, no big deal. The summons have pretty effectively blocked off the woads. The woads less traveled. Those things are tanks, but the summons should still hold them for at least a couple of rounds. Karlach, can you do something about this?
Bye forever, pal.
Now first we have to deal with this guy. Get out of here, you clod. Oh, wow, that was way less effective than I was hoping it would be. Alright, well. Fall back.
Jimmy on the go.
My faith will protect me.
Guess we'll go for a stab. Hey, not bad. Okay, no damage, just muddy. I can live with that. Wow. That's just sad. Get out of here. Right, you also explode on death. Gotcha. Noted for the future. Oh, does money also give disadvantage? That does complicate things.
Mistra Rill.
Sound bath. Nice. That was fantastic. All right.
Still on my feet.
The prone one next.
What do I have to lose?
I don't want to jinx it, but we're actually doing pretty well. Oh, we should tag those guys with bone chill. Oh, let's double check their vulnerabilities. Oh wow, nothing. That is not what I was expecting. Though they are immune to poison, so I'm glad we didn't waste time with that. Gosh, well I mean, there's not much point in burning off a trick arrow then. Would this count as wet? No, no. Still got a decent hit in. Nice.
Let's cook with fire, baby.
We are definitely getting our money's worth on that hunter's bow. Ow. Right, let's go. Let's maybe go ranged on the other one.
Good idea, Carl.
That will do. Which just leaves the country woads. Ow. A little wooden on delivery, but still made an impact. Karlach's hovering at 50%. Let's start whittling.
May the dice roll in my favor.
All right, Gale. Fire when ready.
Nothing important is ever easy.
All right, guys, come on now. Oh, that's what was giving Shovel disadvantage. He was entangled. Let's knock out the regen. Ugh. Yeah, that's a big part of why I don't actually use those things.
This is gonna feel good.
Doesn't hurt as much when you critically whiff with a free arrow. Karlach, can you throw this guy? She is just the person we need, lumbering around the battlefield.
Count on me.
Ooh. Yeah, good luck with that, buddy.
I speak, they burn.
You guys are killing me.
Blood comes easy these days.
No, Bone Chill. Shit, right. Much better. No, Shovel just got planted. That's fine, we'll get a new one. Keep pouring it on.
Gods, it's hot in here.
I fucking love Karlach. I mean, we could still win these fights without her. It just...
One can't always be a gentleman.
She makes these fights so much more fun. Aha! Fire also breaks their regeneration. That does make sense.
Put him up.
Goodbye. And we are victorious. Let's toss Karlach more healing juice. I don't want to burn off a short rest just yet. We actually took kind of a beating in that fight. We just did a decent job of keeping it all focused on the frontliners.
My faith protects me.
Take two.
And what the heck? We're still in pretty good shape on spell slots. Might as well.
Never a dull moment.
Okay, let's root around. See what we can find.
Open up. Breathe deep and move. Always room for more?
Ancient mud mephit wing? Ah, used for elixirs of poison resistance. Sure, why not? I will say, though, reclassifying all of the potions of resistance as elixirs does make me much less likely to use them. Assuming they all vie for the same elixir slot.
Something good here, I hope.
Ooh, here we go. Wood Shield. Magic shield with no bonus, but it does grant Wode's Ensnaring Strike. And with her arm, the Dryad linked a man who had once been her lover, and once of flesh and bone. Now his flesh was bark, and his bone heartwood. In his eyes a feverish love still blazed like 1,000 fireflies in a spring meadow. Unsettling. Ah, and wood bark used for elixirs of bark skin. Yeah, that tracks. So what does this actually do? Wode's Ensnaring Strike. Level 1 Conjuration spell. 1d4 bludgeoning damage. Your attack summons thorny vines that possibly ensnare your target. Duration 3. Once per short rest. It is a bonus action. You know what? We'll toss that to Shadowheart. And then we'll have her pass her safety shield over to Gale. Slightly bump his defenses. And this will give Shadowheart an extra option when she gets stuck in melee. Interesting.
Lost in thought.
Here you go, Gale. Enjoy your shiny new shield.
Air's ripe with magic.
Very nice.
Can't give up now.
And on we go. We have yet to find our evidence, which I'm guessing is in that wooden chest right over there. We'll check that momentarily.
What path lies before me?
Seeing an awful lot of clipping containers all of a sudden. Feels like that's something they should have caught back in early access. But, you know, obviously not a big deal. Just slightly weird.
I applaud your taste.
Let's go, Scorched Earth. Oop. Alright, let's lower the temperature a little.
Shouldn't have wished to live in more interesting times.
Feels weird they had Wodes guarding a wooden chest. Oh, and look at that. Yet another pair of magic gloves. The Sparkle Hands. Conductive strikes. On a hit with an unarmed attack, the wearer gains 2 lightning charges. Effective transmitter. While imbued with lightning charges, attacks against metal constructs and foes wearing metal armor gain advantage. Sometimes I just want to feel that spark. You're the Sparkstruck said. Feel the lightning course through me. Well, that would be fantastic if we actually had a character who used unarmed attacks. Which we do not, so... I guess that's just Sails or Gale's fodder. What it is not, however, is evidence. Where is our evidence? Oh, wait, we have something in this one. Ah. False alarm. Away with ye. Oh, I forgot to check if we could huck apples at people.
Must be the tree from the note to Karga. What's that cleft there?
Letter to Karga, concealed within a hole in a tree. Naughty, naughty. Let me just finish sweeping this area here, then we'll hunker down and get a gander at this thing.
At the ready.
This plateau certainly looks promising. More bull rush. We'll just ignore those for now. Wow, really thought there'd be something up here. Kaga, Uladin has sent word of your progress. I am pleased that the Rite of Thorns has begun. I depart soon from Cloakwood to Baldur's Gate. Should you need further aid from my circle, now is the time to ask. Once cloistered, the Emerald Grove will be the Shadow Druid's domain, and you, its first druid. In Faldorn's memory, Archdruid Aelis. Well, there you have it. We now have our evidence against Kaga, which I do look forward to confronting her with. I don't think we ever did that back in the alpha. I have to imagine that'll kick off a pretty big fight. Oh, we're also looking for a Justicier's lair. I didn't... Shadowheart did not make that clear, but noted. Right. We also have to wing back by the carvings at the Grove. We'll do that before we confront Kaga. See if we can find out more about what the Dark Justiciars were up to back in the day. Oh, and side note. For those of you who didn't play the original Baldur's Gate, Faldorn was an evil druid companion. One whom I believe canonically died in the sequel. I'd have to double check that, though. Canon in Baldur's Gate 2 gets kind of weird with the novelizations. Not to mention the remakes or Dragon Spear. I haven't even touched most of those. Alright, folks. We seem to have dead-ended ourselves, so this feels like a good place to call it. That aside, we set out to explore the swamps and retrieve the evidence against Kaga, and I'd say mission accomplished. I mean, obviously there's more swamp to explore, but we can dig into that stuff next time round. We'll hit the pause button for now. I will sweep for traps, do the usual off-screen bookkeeping, and we'll pick up here next time, as perhaps we track down Auntie Ethel, engage in some high-stakes haggling. See you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible. including but not limited to Revenant, Alois, CrowkingLoR, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, V23, EgonAlter, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Mark Giemza, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Rowan Church, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.
Are you joking? I ain't got a clue who you are. Not a chance.